go. All right, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Erev Shabbos, Kodesh, Parshas Vayera. Wow, unbelievable. It's Erev Rosh Chodesh, right? It's Rosh Chodesh on Sunday, Sunday night. What's the show? What? Sunday night, Monday. Yeah, Sunday night, Monday. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. And it's beautiful, Baruch Hashem. We have the first 7 makas in this week's parsha, right? Connected the lower 7 sfirot, right? 7 for the 7. And then next week in Mitzvah Hashem we have the 3, which are connected to the upper, to the upper sfirot. And we have okay. Now we're learning Likutey Halachos, and we're in Hilchos Birchas HaPeiros, learning the laws of the brachas on fruits. We're in Halacha Gimel, and today we are up to Ches 8. So those that are following along inside, it's Halacha Gimel 3, and it's 8. Okay. We were talking a lot about yesterday about wine, right? We're talking about Shabbos and wine, right? And Shabbos and the same, wine has 2 aspects to it. Wine has an aspect that it can help a person. If you have a little bit of wine, it can perk the mind, and it can make the mind more attentive. It can make the mind sharper. But if you take too much wine, you get drunk, right? And now when you get drunk, you fall asleep, right? That's what happens, right? We said it's the same idea with an olive. An olive by itself, when you take an olive off a tree, if you eat the olive, I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but if you did, okay, that would cause you to forget your learning. It causes forgetfulness, okay? But if you take the olive and you treat the olive, you crush the olive, you press the olive, and you have olive oil, that's very good for us. That's good for one's memory. And we said that's the same as Shabbos. Shabbos is to the weekdays. The weekdays are the aspect of you forget Hashem, you forget everything. When it comes Shabbos, is Zachar es Sheleimah Shabbos, remember Hashem, and all these different beautiful ideas. Okay, so you can review the other lessons if you want, if you're interested in any of those ideas. But now, so Rav Nosson says, you know what? We're talking about wine, but there's one time of the year that's a mitzvah to drink a lot of wine, and that's on Purim. Right? That's on Purim. Isn't that beautiful? Right? Purim. It's 6 weeks away. Right? Is it 6 weeks, Shalom?
You gonna start drinking now? You know, it's also a Pesach. We don't say it about Pesach. We drink a lot of wine at the Seder.
You do, but it's not. But it's different. They're organized cases. It's not, and they're broken up. It's not. Purim, you just drink a lot of wine. Yeah. There's no order, right? And there is Pesach. We'll get to that too, but yeah. Okay, so let's go. Ches v'zeh bechinas hashichrus shel Purim shemitzvah lishtaker oz bepurim. Okay, the Gemara in Megillah on 7b says that it's a mitzvah to become drunk on Purim. Isn't that nice? Right, that's the only time of the year. And the mitzvah is to become drunk on wine, specifically wine. People don't realize that, so they drink all kind of different beverages that'll make them drunk. But the mitzvah is to do it with wine. Again, why? Because at the Suda of Achashverosh, right? So we drank wine. Now the wine that we drank, there was kosher wine. There was no problem with that. But the problem was it could have been yayin nesech, it could have been, and it was the food of the goy, Achashverosh. It wasn't. We'll learn more about that too. It wasn't Jewish food. It was his food. It was his wine. Yeah, okay, I understand, but it was still his.
What do you mean it was his?
It was the guy's. It wasn't Jewish.
But it was kosher.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. That's not the lesson for today, but we'll get to Kioz Nichne Haman Amalek Shu Bechina Shichcha. And that is why was that? Because the whole aspect of Purim is what? to subdue Haman, that causes you to forget Hashem, causes you to forget the Torah. He gets you so involved in worrying about your life, and what am I going to do? How are we going to do? You have no time, you have nothing. So Haman, Amalek, is an aspect of forgetfulness. You understand? They make you forget, cause you to forget Hashem. Kamuva, okay. V'al Kain, Hizira Torah Zocher es Asher Osa L'cha Amalek. And therefore the Torah tells you, Zocher, remember what Amalek did for you. Amalek's coming to make you forget. The Torah tells you, remember what Amalek is coming to do constantly to make you forget your Torah, to forget Hashem, to forget the mitzvos. Remember that. Remember what Amalek's all about. So when you see all these things, all the modern things today, they're all part of Amalek. They're all there just to distract you. They're just there to distract you from serving Hashem. You understand? Remember that. Remember that all of those things are there to distract you. You got it? They want to distract you to make you forget. Now the Torah tells you, remember what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to forget. Loi tishkach. Don't forget. Remember what they told you to do. Remember what they're trying to do to you. Kidei lachnia bechina shircha shu bechinas Amalek lahalos zikaron, to have the zikaron, to remember Hashem, to remember the Torah, to remember what's important in life. Al kain oz bepurim, and therefore when it comes to Purim, mitzvah lishtake beyayin, it's a mitzvah to drink more wine. Now why? Because then the wine goes, it changes over from too much wine. It's the opposite. On Purim, it's always v'nahapachu. Everything gets reversed. So normally wine is there to get you to forget. Wine is there when you have too much wine, right? But Purim, we're switching it around, so more wine is better for you. Only on Purim. Only on Purim. And now when if you're drinking the wine on Purim for the mitzvah, that Chazal gave us a mitzvah to be inebriated on Purim, if that's the reason why you're doing it, so then you could take the wine from the aspect of forgetfulness and make it remembering, because you're remembering the mitzvah, why I'm doing it. Why am I drinking this wine? Then the Shleimus comes specifically, and again here Rav Nosson says specifically through wine. And again, that's a very important thing to understand. When it comes to Purim, there's no mitzvah to drink any kind of whiskey, any kind of bourbon, any kind of vodkas, none of that. Wine is the mitzvah. If you want to fulfill the mitzvah, you want to drink something else, drink, but that's not your mitzvah. The mitzvah on Purim is to drink the wine because it has an aspect of flipping over the wine that normally causes you to forget to now remember. Make you remember. It says, "Nichnes yayin yotza soid," right? When you put the wine in, the secrets of the person come out. So you see already what the person's normally thinking about, right? When a person gets a little inebriated, right, and they're talking, you see really what's on their mind, because they're not talking. They're talking what's the truth of who they really are. They don't have the facade on, the facade. They don't have that facade. No inhibitions. There we go. Beautiful word. Okay. Oz ikra shleimus hayadei yayin daika ki ikra shleimus hazikaron umitoich hashichacha, because the whole idea of zikaron comes from the shichacha. The same way the olive is a forgetful thing, but when I break it down and I turn it into the olive oil, then it helps me to remember. The same way during the week, it's an aspect of forgetting, but when I bring the Shabbos into the weekdays, when I remember Shabbos during the weekdays, I bring zikaron in it. Wine is the same idea. It's so beautiful. Rav Nosson's putting this idea together, how you take these groups of things that have both remembrance and forgetfulness, and you can mend the two together, and you can make them, and you can take anything that's wrong, and you can make it right. It's beautiful. Take the wine that's wrong, make it right. Use it for Kiddush. Use it for a kaishel bracha. Use it for havdalah. Use it for a kaishel bracha for benching a kaisa of a birchas hamazon. That's the wine is going to help you, right? Drink the wine just because I want to drink wine. Social drinking, as I think they say, that's forgetfulness. There's always the right thing to do, and that's the beauty of the Torah. The Torah tells you can't do this, but then the Torah will give you a way that you can do it. You understand? For example, the Torah says you can't be jealous, right? Jealousy is a bad thing, right? Don't covet your friend's wife, his house, his car, his children, anything about him, right? Right? But the Torah tells us, hey, if the guy is a good, he learns a lot, he davens a lot, and he does the daf yomi, and he does a lot of his body, and he's doing the right thing, so that you can be jealous of. Why? Because that'll help you to do good. Because then if I'm jealous that he's learning, then I'll start to learn because I want a part of that also. So in other words, the Torah always gives me something, an avenue to take the midah ra, and you can make it, you can transform it into something positive. Okay, if a person gets upset, right, he gets angry a lot, right? So the guy can take the anger and get angry at his Yetzer Hara, right? Get angry at the Yetzer Hara. Get angry at the Yetzer Hara. It's bothering me all the time. Well, why not? And there's everything you do, you can transform into something positive. And it's the same thing with the wine that we're learning over here. Normally, wine is going to cause you to forget. But when it comes to Purim, it's a mitzvah. And the whole idea was Amalek came to what? To make you forget Hashem. Right? Make you forget. The Torah says, Zochres Asra Amalek. Remember what Amalek is trying to do to you. Right? The Amalek is trying to make you forget. So then you take the wine, and then through the wine of the Nahapachu, you take that wine. The wine now has a mitzvah. So then you become you take what's normally going to cause you to forget will help you to remember. Ki Yisro and Or min ha'chayshich, the same idea of the Yisro and Yor are min ha'chayshich, ki b'mokim sheyesh b'china zikaron v'shichcha. Anywhere you have this aspect of both remembering and forgetting, right? Whenever you have these two columns, right? The two columns together, ki shezoichin le'izgaber, if you merit to overpower, to overpower the forgetfulness, which is the body. The body wants you to forget the mitzvahs in the Torah. The body wants you to sleep, stay in bed, relax, take it easy. The body doesn't want. You have to break the body, and then when you break the body, so then the body and it becomes great. Everything is like that. Everything is like we have the nefesh that we learned. Lesson 37. We have the nefesh and we have the body. Right? The nefesh wants to serve Hashem. The body wants to be lazy, right? The body wants to be lazy. You have to break the body to let the nefesh overpower the body. The same way you have to break you smash the olive to have olive oil, and then you have something great. The same way you have your wine, when you do it with a mitzvah, it becomes great. And all these other ideas that we have, okay? That's the idea of wine with holiness. Again, wine by itself is no good. But if I'm drinking the wine because it's part of a mitzvah, so then it becomes very good. You understand the difference? Right? You got that? Right? Just to have wine on a regular night with your dinner. You're like the French, they like to always have wine with their dinner, right? There's no mitzvah, you're not doing anything. That'll make you forget. But if you went to a siyum and they're benching with a kais and you have wine, drink that wine, that's wonderful. You make kiddush, that's wonderful. You understand? Use it in a positive way, and then it'll give you a positive outcome. Any questions?
This is really weird though.
What's
Memory comes through forgetfulness.
Yeah, if you do it the right way. Memory comes from forgetfulness, right? In other words, forgetfulness is the olive.
Right.
That's forgetfulness. But if I break the olive, I get memory. So the memory came from the forgetfulness.
Oh. Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, but I don't understand the getting intoxicated. That's not.
Because again, that's the opposite on Purim. On Purim is the opposite. The Torah is Haman, Amalek is coming to make you forget. So take the thing that they're trying to make you forget, and take the wine. With the wine, they'll help you. There you go. It's the opposite. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful connection the Rebbe Nosson made with this idea with Purim to help us understand lesson 37. Again, this is lesson 37.
I'm still reading it. The short one you said.
Yeah. No, but now you take this example, you'll see the idea. He's teaching you how to transform each thing, the two columns. You have this column A, column B in the lesson, right? Mm-hmm. You have column A, all the things that are good, column B, all the things that are negative, right? Then how do you take the negative things and use sometimes the negative thing to become positive? That's what it's all about. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, now let's go to test. Okay, any questions on this idea with Purim? We got this right? Listen, it's before Purim. We're having a little hachana for Purim also, right? Mm-hmm. We're in Hilchos Paris, so we're learning the laws of the fruits, which is nice because Tu B'Shvat's in 2 weeks. Isn't that great, right? And then we're learning with Purim, so it's all in Yad Yom, as it always works out for us. Thank you, Hashem. Okay, Tess. And that's why when you do Birchas Hamazon, listen to this. Here we go. That's why when you're benching, right? You have wine is involved in the Birchas Hamazon, right? Again, I want to remember Hashem, right? So I want to take the thing that can make me forget, use that to remind me of Hashem. And that way that your food that you ate should be in an aspect of that I remember Hashem. And it's not that we don't want that. We don't want it to be that you'll eat a lot and you'll become hoardy because of the food that you ate, and then you forget Hashem. No, the whole idea of eating is I want to remember Hashem. I want to remember my soul. I want to remember the souls that are in what I'm eating, right? Through me eating. And this is the idea of the 3 brachas of Birchas Hamazon, Keneged Shalosh Avos, that are remembered, that are because of the 3 Avos. So now, last time we learned, okay, this again, Shivim Panim LaTorah. One thing doesn't negate the other. Okay, we learned that the first bracha of Birchas Hamazon was instituted by Moshe, right? Hello, guys?
Yep.
Right? The first bracha of Birchas Hamazon was instituted by Moshe. The second bracha was instituted by Yeshua. The third bracha was instituted by Sheleimah Melech, David HaMelech, right? Now we're saying we're learning on a different track. The 3 brachas are Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Okay? It doesn't negate one. It's fine. It could be because Moshe Rabbeinu was tapping into the schus of Avram Avinu, and that's how he brought the bracha down. It'll work either way. It does. Okay. Now, Shem is Galim Ba'olam Lahagein Ayedei Avira D'Eretz Yisrael that are revealed in the world in order to protect us from the din, from the judgment and the darkness. Ayedei Avira D'Eretz Yisrael, through the Avir of Eretz Yisrael, this air. We said the air is pure in Eretz Yisrael, right? We have very pure air, spiritually pure air in Eretz Yisrael. So when we breathe the air of Eretz Yisrael, Chazal say is mechakim, it makes the person wise. Avira D'Eretz Yisrael is mechakim. Why does it make you wise? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always looking at Eretz Yisrael. And the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of course, are pure. Again, they're not physical eyes, okay? I always have to remember that. We always have to remember that. Hashem doesn't have anything physical. But it says, Tamid Einei Hashem Elokecha Ba, Mereishas Hashana, Rachmas Hashana. In other words, it says that Lashon of eyes, that's why I'm using the Lashon of eyes, okay? But again, there's nothing physical with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem looks at Eretz Yisrael, because He's looking at Eretz Yisrael, it's a spiritual way. That's why there's more spirituality in the air. Okay? And that's connected to the schus of the Avos. So we have Eretz Yisrael, the schus of the Avos. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Right? Shenimchach hayedei birchas hamazon hayedei shemaskirin by Eretz Yisrael shazeu ikar bechinas birchas hamazon. As we learned so many times, the whole idea of birchas hamazon is always to praise Eretz Yisrael. Isn't that so beautiful? And if you read the benching, you'll see all the words in the benching are all the praises of Eretz Yisrael and Hashem. It's amazing. It's beautiful. When you read the benching, sometimes people say it so fast they don't realize what they're saying. But if you have one time, take your time and read the words word by word and study the words and enjoy the words. Don't only eat the food, eat the words of the benching. That's the dessert. Eat the words of the benching. They're sweet, they're delicious, they're wonderful. Right? They're very tasty words. Eat those words. And if you do, you'll see the beauty of Eretz Yisrael in the benching. As it says, I will eat, I will be satiated, and I will bless Hashem where? On the good land that Hashem gave us. Isn't that so beautiful? And therefore remember the Torah. Again, Torah has to do with Birchas Hamazon also. Right? We have to have Torah at our table, right? We have to have Torah when we eat, right? When we eat. That soul in the food that I ate, right? That soul that I just released, that I was able to redeem, that's an aspect of Torah. The soul is an aspect of Torah. We said that in every word in the Torah is another soul. Right? So the souls are all connected to the lenses of the Torah. Is something wrong, David? Do we have any of these?
Paper towels.
Shalom has. Shalom has. Shalom has. Shalom has. Take.
You know, it's amazing, but now every time I eat, I'm so worried about I'm going to do it properly. I think I'm making mistakes.
No. You don't worry. You just trust in Hashem. That's all.
No, but I mean, I'm trying.
You
to
make the You
I'm
do your
worried,
thing. You make the bracha. You think and you thank Hashem. You think in your mind, I thank Hashem. You gave me my food. That's all you have to do. It's not complicated. And you're not supposed to be worried. That's not that.
Worry is the wrong word. I'm working,
you're concerned.
I'm working on remembering and I'm going to do it right.
That's
properly.
all. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And ask Hashem before you
help
eat.
Me with it. Give me the right words.
Give me the right word. Let me do this right. Please, Hashem, help me do it right. That's all. And how it comes out, that's on Hashem. It's not on you. Just ask Hashem, hey Hashem, help me do this. However you want it to be done, please help me do it right. Help me do it right. That's it. That's it. With anything you do. Always say to Hashem, help me do it right. Okay. Let's go to...
The pizza said, thank you, Mordechai.
The pizza, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. It wasn't the pizza, it was the soul inside. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's go let's go to the next idea, that there are 5 different things that we have to remember. Right, we have the things it's in the siddur after you daven, right? You have the different memory things that we have to remember, right? So let's go through them now. Okay, we're going to go through them one by one. The 5 different things that we have to remember. What are the things that we remember? That we have to remember always Yetzias Mitzrayim. We have to remember Har Sinai. We have to, which is Matan Torah. We have to remember the Melchemes Amalek. We have to remember the idea of Miriam and Shabbos. Right? Those are the things that we have to remember. The 5 different things. Right? And there are passages to read each time, and the Torah wants us to remember these 5 things. Right? The whole idea of remembering is an aspect of Torah, of course. You want to remember your Torah, right? That's why you want to have olive oil. You don't want to eat olives, right? You have the oil will help you remember your Torah. Yeshla nefesh, and there are definitely souls inside the words of Torah, as we learned so many times. Sheheim bechinas hane chamisha borchi nafshi. As it says when we say the chapter of Barchi Nafshi, there are 5 times we say Barchi Nafshi. Right? There are 5 Barchi Nafshis. Kamuva b'maimra now, okay. V'zeh bechinas chamesh oisyois b'mitzpach, as the 5 letters that we have in the mitzvah, and we're going to explain what that is also in a few minutes, okay? Ki zechiras Mitzrayim, zeh bechinas lahalois hanefesh migolas Mitzrayim, shekoilu kol arba golias. How do you like that? We're learning about, we're in Mitzrayim right now, right? In the Parshas, right? We're in Mitzrayim. So you remember Mitzrayim. Zeh bechinas lahalois hanefesh migolas Mitzrayim. When remembering Mitzrayim and remembering the miracles Hashem did for us Mitzrayim, that's an aspect that's included in the Golas by Kol Arba Golias. All the 4 different Golias that we have, the 4 exiles that we have, are all included in Mitzrayim. All the exiles that we had. The Babylon, the Romans, and the Greeks, and then with the Amalek, whatever. Okay. K'may Shamar v'sein zechan mevracha shekol ha'golias mechunim b'shei Mitzrayim. All of the words, all of the Golias are found in the word of Mitzrayim. Kisham b'Mitzrayim oisa das b'golas kayadua. When we were in Mitzrayim, of course our das was in Golas. Of course our mind. Right? They caused us to the backbreaking work that they caused us to. We forgot Hashem. We forgot everything. Ba'adasu nefesh. We forgot the soul, and that's why we were involved in Avodah Zarah when we were in Mitzrayim, right? Bebechinas zikaron, bezeh bechinas arba golias shekulam begolas Mitzrayim. Connected arba yesoidos, which are connected to the 4 different foundations of the world, which is the idea of guf, which is like the fire, right? We have the ruach and mayim, right? The guf and mayim and ofar, the 4 different aspects of fire, wind, water, and dirt. Shemisham bayin kol arba golias. From these 4 come the different 4 Golias. Ukishazoichin lot say it's may arba Golias. And when you merit to come out of the 4 Golias of the 4 exiles, Zeh bechinas Yitzias Mitzrayim. That's an aspect of Yitzias Mitzrayim. So right now we're in the time of Shovavim, right? We're in this time of Shovavim, which is Shemos Va'era Bo B'Shalach Yisrei Mishpatim, the 6 weeks.
What does that mean?
Well, there was a statement made. A Baskal went out to Acher, and it says Shuvu Shaivavim Chutz Me'acher. Everyone comes back except for you. You can't come back. The idea of Shaivavim, right? Shaivavim, and then there's Shmois Va'era Bo B'Shalach Yud Mem. Yisrael Mishpatim. That's in the word Shovavim. Makes up those 6 weeks. The word Shovavim makes up the work. That's why it's called the weeks of the Shovavim. It's the whole idea of getting out of Mitzrayim. This is a new time that we can come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Sometimes that there are certain sins that we do during the year. It's hard to have forgiveness for them. But this time of the year, it's very easy because again, we're in the parshas of Mitzrayim, of the Golas and the Geula. Right, we're in the aspect of the exile and the redemption together. So anything you need to get you're in your own galus. You can get your own redemption now from whatever sins there are. You can do tshuva. It's a very special time for tshuva now. Okay. If I can merit to push down the 4 yesodos, which again we said is eish, fire. Anger, right? I got to push that down. And then we have ruach, wind, speaking, and I use my words the right way. To speak to Hashem is baidus. I don't use my words to speak bad things. Chas v'shalom. And then we said mayim, all the pleasures in life. We do it for Hashem. We don't do it for ourselves. And ofar is the dirt, is like the laziness. I can become lazy to do my averas. Huh? How you like that? You tell the Yetzer Hara, too tired now. Another time. Come back and buy me and bother me another time. Not now. Right? Well, why? The Yetzer Hara tells you always you have to be too lazy to do a mitzvah. Tell him, no, wait a second. I'll do the mitzvah now. We'll do your thing. I'm too lazy to do what you want me to do. Hey, like that. Use the laziness, again, to serve Hashem. That's the beautiful thing. You can always turn everything around to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's amazing, right? Tell the Yitzhak, listen, I'm sorry. I'm too lazy right now. I can't do what you want me to do. I'm too lazy.
That's great.
Offer, right? That's how you lift up offer. That's how you lift up dirt. Why is it called dirt? Because dirt is lazy. It sits on the ground. It doesn't do anything. It stays there, right? It's lazy. To tell the Yitzhak, I'm lazy to do what you want me to do. I'm lazy. And then you'll be able to lift up your soul and accomplish what you have to accomplish, which is an aspect of Zikaron. And that's why we always have to remember Yetzias Mitzrayim. Because if you remember going out of Egypt, you remember all the redemption that came through the Golas of Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim had in it all the other Goliaths. So if I can get out of Mitzrayim, I can get out of anything. Okay? Haynu lishma zikaron shu nefesh nisala b'chinas yitzim zayim. Zeh b'chinas arba koisais shal yayin v'pesach. Here, David, here you go. You have your arba koises. David, you have your arba koises. Okay, whatever. Kineged arba l'shayna shel gula. Right here, you wanted to know about your 4 cups of wine. Here they are. Zeh b'chinas arba koises shel pesach yayin shel pesach. That's why I have 4 cups of wine on Pesach. Kineged arba l'shayna shel gula. Kineged Arba Yesodis. So we had them in this week's parsha, right? Right. We have the Arba L'Shaynis of Geula in this week's parsha. It's amazing. Oh, thank you, Hashem. It's just amazing how everything works together. So beautiful for us. Shetzrichin la'achniyam kidei la'aleis hanefesh bechina zikaron, to come to the idea of zikaron. V'oz tzrichin daika lishleis yayin. Therefore, I have to drink wine specifically on Pesach again. I have to remember. So I use the thing that can cause me to forget to remember the Yetzias Mitzrayim. And that's why we have to drink wine on Pesach. That's why it's a mitzvah to drink the Arba Koises. Ba'al Haim Arba Koises. Therefore, Keneged Arba Yesodos Shenichnu, against the 4 foundations of the world, which again are fire, wind, water, and dirt. I have the 4 kaisais against the 4 aspects of foundations of creation in order to subdue them. It's amazing. That's how I could lift up again my nefesh and have my remembrance, to remember Hashem, to remember the same way HaKadosh Baruch Hu took me out of Mitzrayim. He took us all out of that. And when it's Pesach, it's a mitzvah to feel like you're going out of Mitzrayim. That's the mitzvah, to feel like I'm going out of Mitzrayim, which means I can feel that I can go out of all of my shortcomings. I can leave all of them. I can now be the person that I want to be, because I'm subduing the 4 aspects of the creation that caused me to do the wrong thing, but now I can use it for the right thing. That's why the next one is to remember Matan Torah. Why do you have to remember Matan Torah? Ki Torah hu hazikaron. The whole idea of Torah is to remember. The whole idea of Amalek, like we just learned before, is the whole idea of Amalek comes to tell you that you're supposed to forget. Amalek wants you to always forget Hashem, correct? He wants you to forget Hashem. But I have to work on my zikaron to remember. Remember what Amalek did. And what did he do? He tries to make you forget. You could see right through his game that he's trying to do to you. He's trying to trap all of us. But if I understand what he's trying to trap me, and I don't get stuck in the trap, because I remember what he's trying to do to me. That's why Zechiras HaMolech is very important. So now we understand why we have to remember Mitzrayim. Because Mitzrayim, the same way we got out of Mitzrayim, we can get out of all of our Goliaths, because all the 4 Goliaths are attached to it. Right? And now I understand why we have Torah. Torah is an aspect of remembering. Then we learned now Amalek, because Amalek wants me to forget. I have to remember that he's trying to get me to forget all the time. Zechiras Masa Miriam. Remember what Miriam did. What was Miriam? Remember, Miriam spoke Lashon Hara on Moshe Rabbeinu. Shalei l'daber Lashon Hara. Yisrael, don't speak Lashon Hara. Don't use the words Again, to speak something bad about any other Jew, we said, because every time you disparage another Jew, you're disparaging Hashem, because every Jew has a neshama, correct? Every Jew has a neshama. If you speak against the Jew, you're speaking against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Al Yedei Zeh, through this, Nifkam Hazikor, and that causes us to forget. It makes a blemish in our forgetting. We forget the aspect that every Jew is holy and every Jew has a soul. In lesson 54, you can see that in Likutey Moran, or you can open up any sefer from the Chavetz Chaim on Shmiras HaLashon. He'll tell you how bad Lashon Hara is. I think we all understand that we're not supposed to speak disparaging words about anybody. I think we understand that. Ki hazikaron hu hanefesh, because the whole idea of remembering is the soul. And I'm always trying to remember my nefesh over my body, right? We always remember our guf, right? If a person has a toothache, he has a headache, he stubbed the toe, all these different things, he remembers his body. But the main thing is to remember that we have the nefesh is what keeps the body going. Remember that. We have to remember that. V'ikr is galas hanefesh hu ayidei covered through covered v'al kein tzrichen lizor mi'oid lekabed es kol echad miYisrael b'chol minei covered. Therefore, you have to honor every Jew with any kind of cover that you can give them. Anytime you see a Jew, honor the Jew. Why? Because that Jew has he has a nefesh inside of him. The same way we said you have to honor your food because food has souls in it, right? It says you have to honor your food. Why? Because there's souls in there. We also said every time you see a person that's an Am Haaretz, he doesn't know any Torah. But honor him. Why? Because from him, his children can become great people. You don't know. And he himself has a nefesh inside of him. The same way, if I have to honor my apple, of course I have to honor a person. Right? Come on. And what's the common denominator is? They both have a soul in them. Kideshi is gala nefesh v'azikaron v'al kein ovon lashon hara chomer me'oy. Therefore, speaking lashon hara is a very, very grave sin. It's very, very bad. Ki al yedei shemedaber lashon hara al echad miYisrael nimsa shemevaze nefesh miYisrael chas v'shalom. You are belittling a nefesh of Yisrael. You're belittling a Jewish soul by speaking bad about another Jew. And then that soul, you pushed it down, it can't be revealed. Therefore he has a pegam in his zikaron. Which is the opposite of Lashon Hara. Miriam, and therefore we have to remember Miriam. That's why we're trying to understand why we have to remember these 5 things each day. Each day we have to remember these 5 things. Oh, good morning, Yossi. To push down the idea for forgetfulness to become memory. Shehu pigam hanefesh sheba yedei lashon hara. V'zeh bechinas zechira Shabbos. And we're going to end off with this idea, and this is why the next one is to remember Shabbos. That's the last of the 5. Right? We have to remember Mitzrayim, and we have to remember the Torah, and we have to remember Miriam, and we have to remember the idea of Lashon Hara, and we have to remember Shabbos, right? All these beautiful ideas, right? What? Is that bechinas Shabbos? Lahamchich hazikaron, to draw a memory, bechinas nefesh mi Shabbos l'sheishis yemei achol. Because Shabbos comes, and I'm trying to bring memory of Hashem during the 6 weeks. That's why you have to always bring Shabbos into your week. And that's why every day they tell you to remember Shabbos, so you can infuse Shabbos into the week, so you can always remember Hashem, bechinas, zachreyu me'echad b'Shabbos, remember Hashem even on Sunday. Starting Sunday already, remember Shabbos, remember Hashem is here, is with you today. Unbelievable. So these are all the remembers. Now we understand, we learned so many beautiful things. Why we drink wine on Purim, then we learned why we have the 5 different memories. Unbelievable. And now we're going to learn halacha and Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Okay? Shkoyach. You're never late. Jew is never late. You came in when you're supposed to come in.
I didn't hear you mention Amalek.
Amalek, yeah.
Was that one of the five?
Yeah, we got Amalek, yeah.
one
We
of the
started with
remembrances.
Amalek. We'll go over it. Let's see, because it's getting... Okay, where are we up to? Zion. Okay, so we are learning in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Shmiras HaGuf Al Pi HaTeva. How do you like that, Yossi? How to be naturally healthy. How to be naturally healthy. How do you like that? Wow. Lamed Beis, Leiv. Okay? And today we're up to 7. So here we go. B'nei Adam she'einam shavim b'mizgam. Right? Everyone's metabolisms are different. I think that's what he's trying to say here. Is that right, Shalom? Yeah, you like that idea? Okay. Yesh mi shemizgay cham. Some people are warm people. They're warm people in nature, right? V'yesh mi shemizgay kar. And then some have a metabolism that's more cold. V'yesh mi shemizgay mimutza. And then you got a guy that's right in the middle, right? The guy that's right in the middle. He's not hot, not cold. Beinani, there we go. V'amacholim gam keim mishunim. And the food should also be different. They should always be the same food. Misha mizgay memutza, the guy that has a metabolism that's in between not hot, not cold. He's average. Yochol macholim shehem gam kein memutzaim. He can also eat average food. He's going to explain. But if someone is their metabolism is not balanced, then you're supposed to eat the food that's opposite your metabolism. So in other words, if you're a cold guy, eat warm food. If you're a hot guy, eat cold food. He's going to explain. If the person has a hot, a warm metabolism, lo yachol devarim chamim kimoi tafshilim uvesamim ela yachol macholim shehem kitzas karim vechamutzim. You want to eat more things that are pickled, right? Chamutzim means pickled things, right? Pickled things. You want to eat cold food. You don't want to eat such hot food because again, we said. The idea was like this: if a person, we said a person is not supposed to eat too much. That was yesterday, the other lesson, Yossi. You're not supposed to eat too much. Why? Because our bodies are like an oven, right? Our bodies are like an oven, and we constantly have to keep our body at the right temperature, right? Our body has a temperature. So he said that if we're in the summertime and we're eating hot food in the summertime, the body has to work too hard to cool the food down because it's working on cooling the body also. So in the summertime, if you eat cooler foods, it'll help the body to not overwork, and the person won't raise their temperature of the body doesn't overwork. That's why in the summertime we eat cooler foods, right? And then in the wintertime, the body is cold, it's trying to warm up. So if I introduce warm food into the body, I help the body easily maintain the temperature in an easier way. Isn't that pretty interesting to understand that? And then he said that the same way if you have an oven and you fill the oven too much with wood logs, you ever fill an oven like a wood oven? No, you haven't. Okay. But you picture this, okay? If you take an oven that, let's say, is supposed to have in it 10 logs, and you put in it 20 logs, you stuff them in, and then you start the fire is not going to go very well because there's no oxygen; it's too stuck, right? But if you fill the oven with only halfway, so then it has oxygen combustion and it works very well. So the kids have told us that it works the same way with us. We have the gallbladder that gives its enzymes. And then we have the stomach that gives its enzymes, and it only gives a certain amount. Now, if you put too much food in the stomach can't process the food, then the person gets sick. If you eat too much, the stomach gets sick because it can't process it. And we said yesterday, it's a mitzvah also when you eat, you're supposed to loosen your belt. Why? Because the stomach has to process the food. So the stomach expands and contracts. Expands and contracts. When it expands and contracts, it helps break down the food. Isn't this amazing, the science?
Say that?
It's in the Kitzur. It's all in the Kitzur. It's in the Kitzur. This is in the Kitzur. It's not Rabbi Nachman. This is the Kitzur. It's amazing, right?
And I
So
was
now,
invited out to dinner, and they said, "Do you have any special eating requirements?" I said, "Well, I only can have hot food."
yeah. V'lo yachol devarim chamim. So this guy with the guy is, if the guy is a more warm metabolism, don't eat too much warm things, because again, your body is working with your warm metabolism. So again, it has to work hard in order to keep the temperature at the right temperature. Okay, kimay tafshilim uvesamim. Again, like we said, eat more pickled things, light things, easy things for the body to okay. Umishim is by let's say the person has a cold metabolism. So eat more warm foods, hot foods. Right, you're supposed to change your food according to the time and according to the place where you are. If you're if it's the time of the year and also the climate that you're in. In the summertime, eat cooler foods. Kivasim, eat like lamb meat, I guess, or gediyim, or some kind of rakim, young goat meat. I don't know. Does anyone eat goat meat? Is that what that means to Shalom, right? And eat kind of some kind of Cornish hens, I guess that is. I don't know. What? You like that? Okay, good. I try to think of the translation. Okay. V'gam kitzas macholim chamutzim, also eat different foods that are pickled. B'yamei hakar hamacholim cham. But when it comes to the cold time, then eat more soups, hot things. Right, eat more hot things. V'chein b'medina kara macholim chamim. If you're living in a cold climate, eat warm things. Or medina chama macholim kara. If you're living in a warm climate, eat cold things. Okay. So now, when you eat cold things in the summertime, remember you're following a halacha. So if you like to have a nice cold piece of watermelon in the summertime, so you're following halacha. If it's the winter time, you're having a nice hot soup. You understand? Hey, the kids have told me in the winter time for me to be healthy, I have to eat warm things, and that's why I'm eating the soup now. So whatever you're doing, you can actually follow halacha. You can gain schar olam haba lenetzach netzachim for everything that we're doing if you do it right. Isn't it amazing? Yossi, come on.
Amazing. It's right there.
It's right here in the
Right
book.
there in black and white.
Yossi, you'll enjoy it very much. Take out your Kitzur 32, chapter 32. Read it, Yossi. You're going to be amazed. You'll be amazed. Read chapter 32.
Yeah. It's health and very good.
Read chapter 32. The chapter is Shmiras Haguf al Pi HaTeva.
Wow.
This is in Kitzur. It's amazing, Yossi. Come on. Okay. Everyone, have a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you for joining Kol